It's delicious. Because we're
Okay. So,
It's not Corvine.
let's
She's the real deal.
before we officially get started, I wanted to get a final yes or no about whether or not you guys wanted to dedicate the first part of today's session to offering a recap of the solar sessions.
No.
Or if you guys just wanted to hop straight into the action.
We need a. Never mind. I can't get a good joke.
Can we do it in a timely manner? That's
Alright, so Sai's vote is no. I wouldn't want to. I imagine so. It wouldn't. I can't imagine it would take too long. I know I said under an hour. But at this point, maybe like 30 minutes tops.
I would be pro like a few sentences apiece.
All right, so
They went here, they did this.
Yeah, honestly, if I can shorten mine to maybe 3 sentences, the others can maybe shorten it to a paragraph or so.
yeah, just basically hit the important parts, the things that you feel
I think
the party would be good to know. So it feels like, if I'm not mistaken, the consensus is leaning towards yes, as long as they are brief. So, Midnight, you said no. Has your vote changed?
As long as it's brief.
Okay, Corvine, how do you feel?
Brief is brief, cats.
Brief.
Okay, Stars, how do you feel?
Brief.
Cactus, how do you feel?
Brief.
Okay.
Case.
So let's go ahead and offer brief recaps of what happened. Let's start alphabetically. So, Baiguang, you were first.
Okay. On the note of being alphabetical, did Amber have a solo session?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on that one. So,
3 years in the past, Baiguang came to reign.
oh wait, stop.
Oh.
Vespa, have you started recording yet? All right. Well, if you haven't, go ahead and start now, and we'll make this the official start of the session.
Yes,
So,
I had already muted my mic and everything too.
Oh, sorry. All right. So let's go ahead and officially start the session now. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. Appreciate the fact that you guys made it. Sorry for the couple of weeks of surprise hiatus. But welcome out to what will probably be a mega session. A lot to do today. But before we start, want to give each of you the opportunity to sort of offer a brief recap of your solo session so that everyone's sort of on the same page. And those who didn't participate or get to watch them have an idea of what happened. Of course, in character, you're also free to RP this sort of stuff if you want, but at least for us as players, I'd like us all to be sort of on the same page. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and do this alphabetically and starting off with Baiguang.
Alrighty then. 3 years ago, Baiguang made one of his visits to Rain and almost had a date with Vixen, but they got interrupted when they found out that one of the daughters, I suppose, of House Greysky had gone missing. So Baiguang and Dag Snowdawn teamed up to go find her and rescue her, which they did. Found her. She had been kidnapped by one of the syndicates in the burrows. They got her back. She apparently has a crush on Baiguang now, despite being the quiet deer that nobody remembers. Like, we would tell people we're looking for Tonye, and they'd be like, who? But yeah, we saved her, and that was about it. That's the important part.
Pretty much. Somewhat straightforward. All right, thank you. Next would be Corvine.
Oh god, you caught me.
I had to stop and actually say the ABC to myself for a hot second. I was like, wait, what's next? Right, okay.
So, Corvine's solo session. She was going to confront her father and talk to him about all the stuff that essentially about the fact that she's here, but she needs to do stuff. But then turns out he wasn't there. She met up with her uncle, and then they looked for him, and eventually she found out that from confronting Oystein that he has captured him and is essentially holding him hostage over her head. And now she's trying to prepare to free him without getting him killed.
All right, thank you. That moves us on to Dandy.
You learn that Corvine is gay and Olivia is not gay.
That's a very succinct summary.
It is.
Indeed, it is.
And then Dag was too busy because you need to move on from Corvine session to Corvine session.
Sorry about that.
And Dandy is becoming the Maryland of this kingdom.
And as a side note, I don't know if it's wise to mention this, but I felt kind of bad about that, so I'm attempting to do what I can to make amends, because I did kind of derp as a DM there. So, that said, that moves us on to Saye.
Wow, that was actually shorter than what I thought it was going to be the shortest one. Okay. So, Saya did 3 things. She met with what's-his-face, the information broker, got a bit of information, including that Oystein, or whatever the heck, the entire house, House Grey Sky, is actually manipulating the Sisters Grom. And Sisters Grom has been taking orders from them and supplies and such. I don't really remember other information she was given off the top of my head.
That's most of it.
Yeah, that's the most important part of it. And along with that, she went on her usual vigilante patrol and knocked out a bunch of guys in one hit and killed someone because he injured her. And then had a nice long, short chat with Gear about lack of information going into her job with everyone else towards Sapwood. Because they knew Sapwood and never told her anything. Gear didn't really take that well. He kind of broke down. And he's requesting an audience with everyone that's going to be brought up.
Well, to be fair, he broke down when you told him that there's a basement they didn't know.
No. Either or. It was the whole abomination thing that broke him down.
Yes, that for sure. He couldn't handle that. He had to leave the room. He may or may not have vomited violently off screen. I will neither deny nor confirm that.
Well, you just confirmed it, though.
No, I'm officially neither confirming nor denying that.
You're putting the thought in our heads.
No, you're confirming it because it never happened in the solo session.
You unofficially confirmed it, but not officially.
No. You're all reading into this far too much.
We're only reading into what you just said.
Either way, is that everything?
Yes, that is indeed everything. And so we will pick up as a couple of items of note. So a week passes without much. Well, a week passes, and during that time, Sae has been doing Sae things.
Like I do.
Corvi has been attempting to spread the truth about what's going on with her father amongst the populace. Dandy has been returning home to an empty house every night.
Oh no.
Wait, really?
And
Wait, hang on. What? Really?
I told you Vesper was going to be the
You
next
weren't
to get
expecting
kidnapped.
this?
No. I thought he was gonna.
Yeah, no. I kind of figured it from the first time he didn't show up.
I told you. I warned
And
you upstairs.
And Bai Guang has been doing whatever Bai Guang has been doing for the past week.
Doing bygone
And-
things.
And Amber's, we don't know yet. We'll let you know what happens when we find out what happens.
Question regarding magic items. First
Mhm.
off, do we still have the magic items we got, or did we give those back?
We gave those back. As far as I know.
Okay, here's the thing.
Some of them. Some of us did, at least.
Yeah, some of us did.
I don't
Some of
recall
us
this-
forgot we got money.
If you haven't given back your items, Snowdon would have, at this point, gracefully requested for them to be returned.
Okay. Yeah, so I was mostly
On it-
wondering about the stuff that I got.
But by the way, I wish you would have told me about that before, because you probably would have been looking.
About Vesper not being home for
Yeah.
a certain
Yes.
period.
Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal that. I mean, it's not uncommon for him to be gone for a few days, but normally he lets you know ahead of time that he's going to be gone for.
Yeah. I wish you would have told me.
Oh, now you know, I guess.
Now here's the thing with me. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have told someone that they really wanted the item returned, how did they contact me?
I mean,
Of course, we were told when we got them that we were to give them back when we were done getting Vixen, but beyond that,
Saya was distracted
Sai will.
and
not
she
get
left
back.
with
That's what I'm hearing.
the gauntlet.
indeed. So let's go ahead and pick up Snowdawn then. You've all been summoned to meet with Dawn Snowdawn once again, or Snowleaf technically. And a lot of you are escorted to her chambers. And upon arriving, she greets all of you with a
Can we rewind a bit?
sure.
Okay, when everyone meets, I ask them if they've seen Vesper.
Guang has not.
Danny is clearly very worried about this.
Saya's just giving a weird look.
He hasn't been around for like a week. Ever since I brought them back with the captives. I brought the captives back to him. He just sort of vanished. Anyone know anything?
I've had nothing.
Hope he's okay. Hmm.
How do you mean? Oh, as in like you're going to inquire to the party about them or something like that, or?
That's what he was just doing.
In other news, I think I still would have bought the that vicious whip that I mentioned.
Well, if you wanted to buy it, go right ahead. If you have the money for it.
I was using the same magic items prices. It's $350 for it.
That's fine. Go right ahead.
Ooh, I get fun stuff on my braid on the wool.
Do you just want to hand the alchemy jug off to Baiguang Sai, or do you guys want to repeat that scene, or?
We had discussed options for how it might change hands, but I don't know that we had settled on anything. Also, I have a a magic sword that I wasn't sure if that was intended for somebody else.
The luck blade is Vandy's item, but I'm keeping that dancing dagger.
I forgot what those options were.
There was the dancing dagger. There was the luck blade, the alchemy jug, and
The Sword of Vengeance.
the sword of vengeance.
I don't know if that one was intended for somebody or not, but
That
They
one
have
wasn't intended. That one wasn't intended specifically for anybody. And I think that's it. And then there was the healing balm,
yeah,
but that's
the salve or whatever it was.
yeah, but that one's obviously more for the party than for just one person. I can't think of anything else outside of those items. All right. So, question: would Sai have sold that off at some point during the week?
As I said in my solo session, I believe, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think-
However, if this conversation didn't come up, she would have.
Yeah, I think one of the ideas I had suggested was like Baiguang was going to possibly see it and recognize what it was and be like, hey, we should hand that over. We should all have drinks. And he was going to use it to give out drinks. And then,
Right, that was one of them.
because Sai didn't particularly have need or want of it, apparently.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have all right. I think I have a way we can take care of that.
Yeah, basically, until we reach the market again, that's when she's gonna sell it off.
So before we hop back into the present, anything else anybody wants to take care of before we return to Dawn's chambers?
So nobody wanted to lay claim to the luck blade.
Don't you want
I
it?
have enough blades.
I mean, I'll take it if nobody else calls dibs, because I could certainly use it, but
I'm happy with my dagger.
okay.
I'm too attached to my sword.
Fair enough.
All right. And as Dawn has the civil servants pull up some chairs or couches or whatever Angulus use. And okay. To start off, she looks between the group and says, "So, I've called you all here for an obvious purpose, but before we go, I just wanted to ask, how's your week been?"
Have you seen Vesper?
She tilts her head to the side. No, why?
He's been missing for the whole week.
He's
That's
been missing.
that's troubling. Did he go out of town or something like that?
Last time I checked, he was dealing. How? Wait, this is Remind me who. Okay, remind me who we're talking to. Is this
Dawn.
Snowdawn?
Yes,
Snowdawn.
this is Dawn Snowleaf, the matriarch of House Snowdawn.
I see.
The one that's not a terrible person.
He was he was going to deal with the captives we rescued from the Sisters' Ground, but
Oh,
I don't
yes.
think he would have taken that
What?
long.
Wait,
Yes.
that's why he left?
Mm-hmm.
No.
What's wrong?
No. First place to look mighty, Gray Sky.
Gray Sky?
You think he's also a gray sky?
Wait, also,
Also,
oh, no,
There's
don't
a-
tell me you know some fun house.
There's a reason I accepted your invitation. The gray skies have my father.
As well as others. So, wait, your father?
She
Wait,
nods.
I guess that makes sense. But
hello? Okay.
I've been trying to gather support to free
Addicts-
him.
That explains the rumor.
is this okay? Vesper might be there because I discovered the Sisters Grom are in cahoots with Grey Sky.
Oystein.
They are
Right.
taking orders from Grey Sky, and I actually have no confirmation if it's Oystein in particular, but it may as well be.
Wait, you mean to tell me that the Sisters Grom is actually working for Gray Sky?
She nods.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not possible. There's no way the Sisters Grom would ever work with any of us. Let alone for.
Unless did they get this much power?
And she kind of looks down a little shamefully.
This was not your doing.
They were taught by you, weren't they?
She shakes her head. No. It's one of the main problems about having a decentralized government. Well, we sort of have a centralized government loosely. Is when things spiral out of control, they tend to get worse. At first, well, all the crime that was in the boroughs precedes any of us that are alive today, but the problem was just we never could. Sapwood is really the only time we've actually been united as the leadership of Rain to destroy something. The crime syndicates were too numerous, too many. We couldn't just march in there and stomp all at once, and we didn't turn a blind eye to it. We just
So-
had other priorities, and next thing you know it,
So I'm assuming the Grom stepped in for you and united them.
shakes her head. No, they're just the biggest ones. All the crime syndicates in the boroughs operate under their own things, and they often fight with each other, which causes a lot of crossfire. But
It's a pain to deal with.
nods, and you can stamp one out, but another one will probably just take its place. We're not really sure how to take care of the problem at this point, and the Sisters Grom is just the most powerful and the biggest of them all. I mean, no one, not even one of the houses, if I be honest, would dare go toe to or hoof to hoof with them.
None of the major houses.
Nods her head. They have too much at their command, and there's too many innocents involved. If we were to march in there, the cost would be catastrophic.
What's
I'm-
important is that we save all those people.
She lets out a sigh. I appreciate your wonderful optimism, Miss Winterblood, but and she says this is a matter that may or may not be beside the point. if the Sisters Grom are involved with the Gray Skies as you suggest, then that's troubling. Something has changed.
Well, we know that there's all these rituals popping up that seem to be involved with both.
She furrows her brow.
The sisters are into rituals in the first place.
Yes,
Why wouldn't they help?
I remember. I remember that. Wait. You said Oystein was into these sort of things, correct?
She nods her head.
And if the
He-
Sisters Grom are into that sort of thing,
He's done a lot to not only others but himself with this sort of thing.
then perhaps that's what's changed?
Wait, you're not suggesting that? Okay, there's two things I can think of. The most stupid fun I can think of is Oystein usurps the sisters and is now in control of his own gang.
That would be a terrifying. That would be a terrifying situation.
I
But you
wouldn't
said
put
yourself.
I wouldn't put it past him.
You said yourself. Why would the sisters?
He was daring enough to kill a duke in his own home by himself.
What's the other? What was the other conclusion you came to? You mentioned two, did you not?
They made a bargain.
That I would say that seems much more feasible, but considering what's been happening lately, I don't know what to think.
Everything happening at the same time? A bit of a coincidence.
I just wish I knew more of what was going on. Well, I wanted to call you together because I don't know if you remember this or not, but when you came back from the Sisters Grom, that young cow that came with you had a list, or a piece of paper that looked like a list anyways. She said that you found it after dealing with with the maniac who was down there. And we've been trying to decipher this list. It's written in an ancient form of Glassy, which is not easy to read.
I
Wait,
can probably
what?
read it.
What'd you say, Corbine? I caught what you said, Midnight, but what'd you say, Corbine?
I could probably read it.
She shakes her head. There's an additional problem. Not only is it written in an ancient tongue, it's also written in a cipher. And that's what's taking more time than anything else, is figuring out the encoding and how to read it.
Would it be possible for me to take a look at it?
Should be. I believe it's currently. Hold on. Oh, go me. Okay, you do that. Good job, OC. Is that right? Oh, ha. That's the wrong document. Okay. There we go. All right. Espen is currently looking at it. We brought in that monstrosity that you captured, and he's been examining it, and he's also been studying this document that you brought in. If you don't know Espen, he's a member of our family. He spends most of his time teaching his two pupils, but of all of us, he's the most studious. He's the one who's delved deepest into the arcane magics. Well, my husband and I have what you see here is sort of a ramshackle lab that we tinker with from time to time when we have the time. But Espen, I guess you could call him a dedicated scholar. He has a proper laboratory we've built for him, and he spends most of his time here in the complex.
And what of the other Espen, by the way?
Her face grows dark when you mention that Espen. His mind is as warped as any sap would have ever met before, if not more so. We're trying to figure out if he can be, well, if we can save him or not. It's difficult. He has trouble eating normal food, and he has such monstrous views on reality.
I understand.
In fact, we've had to change his attendance from time to time. Apparently, I don't know if whatever's in his head is infectious or not, but apparently if you spend more than a couple of days with him, you start feeling a bit different. So for safety precautions, we've been changing out servants every once in a while. Last thing we need is more sapwoods in this world.
Wow.
It just worries me that he views his behavior as normal and doesn't appear to be malicious about it at all, which makes it even more terrifying.
It was normal for his upbringing.
That's the mark of insanity. When you believe wholeheartedly that your insane actions are completely normal insane. After all, the crazy don't know that they're crazy. Which I suppose she smiles grimly. I suppose one could question one's own sanity if the world is insane. Sorry. Probably shouldn't make jokes at a time like this.
It's fine. Just
Dandy,
Yes.
it troubles me that you say Vesper's gone missing. He didn't leave a note or anything like that, did he? Mentioning he'd be out of town for a few days?
No. He only he said. Okay, what did the note say specifically?
The note basically said, "I've taken them into town to take care of them, clean up after yourself."
He didn't say anything about being gone for this long. He just left a note saying that I'll be gone, taking the captives into town.
Well, I remember that. He brought them to us, actually. And we... Sorry if this sounds a bit callous, but we've redistributed them to other places in the city, the places where they would be taken care of and looked after. We're not exactly a hospital here, and we're not very well equipped to handle that sort of thing. But I didn't see him. Last report I heard was that he had brought them here and then left our complex. Beyond that, she shrugs. I wish I could tell you more.
He's
Would-
looking down.
Would all of you like to speak with Espen?
No, thank you.
Which one?
Not the captive, the one who's trying to examine that list. Our Espen.
Sai nods.
As long as it doesn't take too long.
Nods. Dandy. I will see if I can't find out where Vesper has gone off to.
Mhm.
If he's... I'll see if I can't scry out his location. And this will take a little bit. But
Thank you.
yes. Well, why don't you go speak with Espen while my husband and I try and find him?
I don't wish to see him.
Well, that's fine. I meant you as in she sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's all the same, would you mind waiting in the audience chamber then? Or the reception chamber?
All right.
She nods. For those of you who wish to speak with our Espen, not the Sapwood one, you'll find him deeper in the bowels of the complex. And for those of you who wish to not, I would ask that you join your friend Dandy. We'll need some quiet and concentration to try and find Vesper.
I can show you guys where Espen's lab is. I've been there before.
Sai nods to that, and as she gets up, she removes the bracers that she forgot to return. Well, that she was too focused on her sword to return, and places them in front.
They were
Dawn's eyes sort of up. Oh, right, thank you. Thank you. Did all of you return the items that we lent you?
Quiver nods.
sadly yes.
I believe
Evelyn's preoccupied.
we got
apologies.
that staff of charming back from you, right, Dandy?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Oh, by the
What?
way,
Whatever
Just-
Amber's item was.
just out of curiosity, did you find anything interesting at that house? I'm always curious of what sort of things the syndicates have gotten their hooves on. And I figure the more we know about them, the better equipped we are to deal with them.
Wait, you mean that house? The house we found Vixen in?
Nods.
There were a few magic items.
And another circle. Hmm.
She raised
Another crazy reindeer.
They had some
What a
magic items
horrible
there?
abomination.
Well, yes, I recall that information. We decided to snoop around a little bit to see what was there. But I suspect whatever we saw was nowhere.
There was something else.
Dawn sort of watches Dandy as he heads out.
She looks over to where Corvine was, wherever she was. That thing. It's hard for me to remember it. Might be the effects of the curse or something. There is a. What was it? Was it a skeleton or something?
Where?
Second floor. That Corvine inside bought.
Oh,
She
It
went
wasn't
through the roof and stabbed it, and
It wasn't a
skeleton. It was
just-
a cultist.
yes.
There's
it
no
was a-
necromancy in Foenum, guys.
Except for possession.
Apparently.
Yeah, I used the skull because I couldn't find a good sprite otherwise.
Wasn't it just like a weaker version of Oystein?
Basically,
It
you
was
really screwed me up there.
a snake horse.
yes. So
Well, snake deer. But yeah.
yes,
Stop being edgy.
so edgy.
Rattlesnake.
No, it wasn't a cattle. No cattle snake here.
But
So I'm going to take back everything I said there because of that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no necromancy.
Speaking of
Just horrible body modification.
people here,
Shadow piercings.
that Fluffy was it?
Dawn's face goes very dark when you say that.
Wait, what did you say about Fluffy?
I just mentioned her.
And Side kind of trembles a little.
Have you been able to contain that one, by the way?
She escaped.
And now Sai is just stepping back a bit.
We don't know where she is.
That you don't know how powerful that one is.
Apparently, we didn't. We underestimated what she's capable of, and
Did she just
trying to stop
disappear,
herself.
or did she get
Who got
anyone
hurt?
on her way out? Bai Guang asks with trepidation.
the binds we put on her were insufficient in their strength, and she broke free and, well, vanished without a trace.
Sai is trying to stop herself from getting the magic item back.
I've been told that she wanted to take some casualties, but apparently that monster that accompanies her was too quick.
I am.
At least everyone is alright.
There
For
is
now.
that.
For now, anyways. But you said you found some things at that house, some magic items. You said that's troubling. What sort of things did you find?
Well,
I I found a new weapon to hold me over until I find something as marvelous as that ice blade you lent me.
Oh,
He produces the luck blade, which I don't know if at this point he would have had a chance to get it fashioned into teeth yet or not.
her eyes bulge. He's like, "That's it." Pause. Oh. Oh well. If you don't know, Bagwan, that's a luck blade. Normally, each of those cracked gems there grants a wish.
So you're saying these have been used by somebody?
She gets a thoughtful look in her face.
Hey,
If
Huh?
you found an expanded luck plate in the Sisters Grom,
oh
might-
no.
maybe that might explain a few things.
One of their run-of-the-mill guards was carrying this.
Well,
So
once
I
you've
think it
used
was-
the wishes, it's still a nice blade. It's just very minor in comparison.
I
They
suppose it was
probably,
discarded and handed down to him.
probably.
No. Doubtful.
After it had been used.
Still, if they have something like that in the possession, of course, we can only hope that perhaps it landed in the position after the wishes had been used.
Yeah, out of character, that only just occurred to me that, oh, they've been used by somebody. That could be bad.
Yeah, I never thought of that either.
Well, let's hope that it was empty by the time they got it. Did you find anything else of interest there?
Well, that depends on your definition of interest.
Well, information is helpful. Like I said, the more we know about what they have access to, the better we know how to combat them.
She takes out the alchemy jug.
Oh, that's an alchemy jug. They had one of those?
For some reason. Mm,
Well, I can't
I've been
say,
debating what to do with it.
well, I can't say it's too surprising they would have an alchemy jug.
Gotta have that mayonnaise. Once
And
they say what it
then-
is, Bai Guang starts eyeballing it. Those are incredibly useful to have on ships, actually. I've been angling to get us one on the high ship, but
Well,
the Arabs haven't listened.
you're on it. She just shuffles it across the table.
He grabs
I've
it.
got no
with a
use for it.
surprise. Oh, well, thank you.
What'd you say, Stars? He something what?
Oh, he takes it with a surprised expression, but thanks Sai for it.
And after she shuffles it over, she draws the cursed blade and puts it in front of her.
I asked that.
And Zanzev is this.
I've been thinking about that actually. I bet you Espen probably knows either how to get rid of it or someone who knows how to get rid of it.
That's another reason I want to see Espen.
Makes sense.
And if I recall, they had a fairly nice jar of healing salve.
Hmm.
More than
Yeah, about that.
it's a little better than
healing,
the common potions you usually find.
About
Was-
that.
Was it an ointment?
Bai Guang looks to Sai since
She-
starting to speak.
Takes it out, and it looks so empty. It looks like it could probably be used only one more time.
Oh.
Also, I accidentally marked it off my list, but I know it can only be used one more time.
Oh. Well, that's always nice to have. Did they have several of those or just one?
Just one.
Oh, that's good.
So that might mean they took the rest, and this one was left behind.
That's also possible. I mean, it's not like you guys broke into a strong house or something like that. At least I don't think it was a strong house. I don't know much about how they operate. I just know they don't usually put everything into one location. Anyways, was that everything then?
I believe Dandy also acquired a magic weapon of some kind, a dagger of sorts.
I'll have to ask him about when I get the opportunity. In any case, speaking of which, I should get to work. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Yes, if you wouldn't mind taking Messiah here to Espen, my husband and I will get to work.
Baiguang gives a short bow. I'll leave you to it. And then leads Sae out to go join the others.
So before we head over to the not carnivorous Espen, is there any RP you, Dandy, and Corvain want to do?
Cricket.
Cactus, are you here?
Here,
Oh, okay.
Danny's probably going to just be thinking to himself.
You guys don't have to. I was just curious if there's a scene you guys want to do RP or not.
Corvine's
about
just
his
gonna
boot.
sit next to him
All right.
and be quiet, but there for him.
He
Then
gives her a hug,
Checks
a
back.
very sad hug.
sad
that is
cheap
rough.
hug. All right. Then so you are led down several sets of stairs, and oh yeah, I should probably explain. So what we're looking at in Roll20 right now is, well, more or less the House Snow Dawn complex. Admittedly, it's not the perfect image of what I had in mind, but it's close enough to get the right impression.
It's pretty good.
So it's just, it's surrounded by high walls around the edges. And you're led into you guys have been meeting in one of the larger house looking things off to the side, and you're led into the center building there, down a set of stairs and almost through something of a labyrinth. There's a few turns here and there, a couple of doors, some stairs that go up like half a step for some reason. Doesn't seem a lot of rhyme or reason to this part of the complex. Until finally you're taken to a fairly large room. First thing that hits you when you walk in is the smell. It's not a bad smell, it's just there's a lot of them that hit you all at once. And it's strange, it's bizarre. The second thing that hits you is that it is weirdly lit in here. It doesn't appear to be any central sorts of lighting. There's a lot of things giving off light here and there. And then, on top of all of that, what you see is tables with all sorts of implements and instruments on them. Several tables over here, a few tables over there. There are chairs gathered here and there. You notice that there's a large cage, or there's a few large cages towards the back, and several other miscellaneous this, that's, and the others. There's a constant din of various noises here and there. The odd bubbling noise, something fell over. You hear the skittering of little tiny somethings running across the floor here and there. And in the center of it all, okay. And is pause for dramatic effect, is a reindeer who is a little bit older than Dawn, who he looks a bit young to have graying fur, but his face betrays an age much greater than his actual body does. Who is robed and currently performing some sort of experiment. Near him are two other reindeer who are younger, who also appear to be doing various other tasks. One of them appears to be more interested in performing supplementary tasks to the one in the center of the room, such as handing him the occasional flask or the bit of parchment here, or taking this odd item away. And upon entering, it appears you are not noticed. Whatever they're doing, they are deeply engrossed with. That said, in the back, you notice in one of the cages the large monstrosity sitting there. However, it looks very different than it did before. It's a little hard to make the details from here because there's a lot of junk in the way, but there it is.
Should I even try to make the details?
So, who are his pupils? I only have one in the notes you sent me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he only has one pupil. I lied! Ha ha ha! There's one. Yes. Civ. Civ is her name. So yes, a young reindeer is currently running about, performing various minor tasks for him.
So really, 18 passive perception. I don't know the details.
Well, it's just, again, there's a lot of junk and clutter in the way.
And a lot of money, cash money.
There's a lot of these strange black boxes in the way.
But if you want, you can go ahead and make a perception check since we're here.
Well, the topic of the monstrosity came up between Sai and Gear, so she wants to check on it.
Fair enough. Go right ahead. All right.
Again, I don't know what the heck is with the +0.
So,
Figure that out.
looking back, you see the monstrosity is... You see, like, 5/8 of a reindeer, not 5/8, sorry, 7/8 of a reindeer outside of the body, this horrible monstrosity of a spider. The spider part of it is a different color than the reindeer part of it. And it's not like the back part of its hooves are sticking out of a spider. It's like parts of it are still attached to the spider, and the whole creature is just sitting in the cage twitching every once in a while. But you can see, again, there's 7/8 of a reindeer currently lying on the floor, still somewhat attached to the... And the reindeer's colors are much lighter than they were before, much more normal, sort of a light brown for this particular one, whereas the horrible spider body is much darker than it, almost approaching on black.
And she will remember this as she continues forward. And she will whisper to Baiguang, "Is it okay to interrupt this, or should I wait?"
I usually get yelled at and or something explodes if I interrupt him when he's busy.
And does this take long?
Perhaps Civ will notice us and say something. He tries to wave to the apprentice.
It takes her a hot minute, but she turns over and she's like, "Huh? What? Oh!" She stops for a second and starts poking Espen furiously. He looks down. What? What is it? What? Huh? What? He looks up. Oh! Baiguang! Yes, give me a second. Hold on, I'm almost... Let me finish with this real quick. Very careful
Didn't mean to
reaction.
interrupt.
No, that's fine, just give me a second. Okay, that should be alright for a few minutes. Puts it down and trots over. What is it? What do you want? Who is this?
This is Saye, who is in the employ of House Ba currently.
Can I help you?
And Corvine Winterblood.
She nods. There a couple of things, actually.
He turns to the Baiguang. Is she a noble?
Asking about Saye or Corvine.
Saye.
She, as I said, is working for House Ba. I do not know her lineage myself.
No, I am not a noble.
I see. His demeanor shifts a bit to impatience. Very well. What is it you need?
And to think I was about to offer assistance with your little project decoding that. What was it? That script?
Look, miss, I don't really have a lot of time for games. What do you want?
I want to
I-
take a look at the script, and she takes a sword out. I want to know what you think of this.
And
And
then
she
taps
also
him.
makes sure that he can see the ring.
He glances at the ring for a split second. He kind of again, huh? Kind of expression on his face. Looks at the blade. Picks it up. Turns it over. It's cursed. That explains the ring. Holds it up. Give me a second. Walks up to a table. Flips through just a couple of notes. Swings it a couple times. How do you feel when I'm holding it like that? Do you feel angry that I'm holding it?
Not at the moment. Not with the ring on.
I see. And if the ring wasn't on?
I'd probably try to kill you.
Okay. Yeah. Blade of Vengeance. Where'd you get this thing? You didn't buy it, did you?
But it checked before I bought. No, that was at one of the Sisters Brom's houses.
He looks at you a bit surprised. Looks between the two of you. Oh. So this is one of the people that accompanied you to the Sisters Grombeck. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Oh. His demeanor shifts slightly to less impatience. I see. Well then. He hands it back. I'm gonna guess you want that broken, don't you?
Wait, broken?
The curse.
The curse. Yes.
Thinks for a minute.
I would rather not stab an innocent civilian.
Yeah, I think I might be able to break it. I'll just need I'll just need something else. Something I don't have here at the moment. I bet you Dad would do the trick. Well, I wouldn't want him here in my lab.
Bagwong chuckles.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, Dag is a very strong personality. Enchantments and don't really work well on him. So one thing I could do is I could transfer part of the curse to him, and he would be able to break it, and that would leave the rest of the curse on you in a weakened state, which then would probably just dissipate. From what I gather, you seem to be pretty strong-willed, so...
Transferring a curse to another is possible.
He shrugs. It's something I've been experimenting with.
I never read anything like that.
Well, that's because I'm experimenting with it. I've had various degrees of success. And I'm not saying transfer the whole curse. Last thing we need is Dag with a murder's blade of death, but, part of the curse.
This time, Bagwong shudders at the notion.
Yeah, seriously.
But yes, he pipes up. I would certainly say she's strong enough willed for it. She held me back when Vixen was kidnapped.
I'm surprised you didn't murder half the city. Alright, yeah, so if you can find Dag and get him to come here, then that should be something we can take care of. But, Let's see. You wanted to look at this list, right?
She nods.
Okay. He walks over and picks it up. And there's, I can tell, I think it's names, but I'm not 100% sure. Here, take a look. You can
His
finish up what I
names
was.
and I have a hunch.
He goes back and begins tinkering with it. When you're done with it, just kind of set it here. He taps near him. Oh! He looks up. And speaking of curses, so that thing you brought in, he points over at the thing in the cage. I kind of wish you'd brought in a fresh one. You see,
This is as fresh as it got.
well, so the thing is I think whatever happened to it is potentially reversible.
It looks extremely shocked right now.
Out of character, just a reminder, we did keep this one alive. It wasn't a corpse.
So the way it works,
It was knocked out.
So in examining it, what happens is hold on. Okay. So you have two different essences, right? You have the essence of whatever that thing is, the giant spider-ish creature, and then the host, I guess you could call it. You have these two different essences, right? And what they've done is they fused the two of them, creating a whole new creature. This is what you're looking at is neither reindeer nor a giant spider thing, I guess, but something completely different. So the trick, in near as I can tell, is you have to somehow pull apart the two essences that have been mingled together to create something new. It'd be like separating the ingredients of, I don't know, some food or something like that. Or an alchemical potion.
Trying to unmake tea.
There you go. That's a good example. But the problem is in using your analogy, the original tea leaves, the body of the host, has been destroyed, or at least severely altered. So you have to pull the two essences apart and then reconstruct the body of the original creature, if you want the other one to survive, which in this case I didn't really want to. But as you can see, that's the best we can do with this. And the poor reindeer, whoever it was, they're not home anymore. I'm guessing whatever happened to them just sort of... Well, I have a theory, you see. The theory is that if I were to get my hooves on a fresh one where this just happened, the essences just mingled, I might be able to... Well, I'm not going to say fully reverse the process. I'm pretty sure this is permanent, but at least have a lot better results than this. So if you ever find one that's fresh, let me know.
I was actually under the impression the one we found had been just made.
No, they said it was a barrier.
Oh. So, I mean, I don't know.
So
I rolled that one, so I've been saying it wasn't.
So he shrugs. And I extracted something from it. Although I don't think you want anything to do with it. He walks over and grabs a small black orb and walks his way over. So this is the essence of the monster that poor reindeer was fused with.
She immediately points the rapier that was given to her right at it, just out of reflex.
Put your weapon down, commoner. This is not a place for such things.
Bagwan gives him a look.
Apologies. She lowers it.
He looks between the two of them. Anyways.
Actually, can I make an intimidate check to scold him for saying commoner, so...
If you wish.
Oh, I don't know why I'm typing out the roll.
Yeah, transfer sessions.
And not too high.
Yeah, he's actually a little. He actually looks at Baiguan and kind of give him a "Excuse me, have you forgotten your place?" kind of look. Anyways, so it's interesting. I've distilled it and I've toyed with it, and I think you could draw on its powers to gain some sort of to do something with. If you're worried, I don't think this essence is going to be using with anyone anytime soon. No. I just think it's I think it could be used for something.
And before this guy becomes the true villain.
I mean, I have nothing to use it for.
Clearly,
So
all characters named Espen are suspect.
I want to know if you guys wanted to give it a go. I have a feeling you might get more use out of it than I would.
Really.
He shrugs. Well, I mean, I spend my time in this lab.
If I promise not to destroy it, I would like to examine it over time.
Well, that's fine. I have a feeling even destroying it would do something.
I feel like, come to think of it, is that might make things worse.
Well, if you want it, here you go. He hands it over.
Baiguang makes a note in his mind that if it starts to become a problem for any reason, he's going to sacred flame it.
And she does take the thing, and Sai is now destined to be the next Spider.
Oh no.
As Sai gets all the cursed items.
The actual final villain.
Surprise! Actually, that was supposed to happen once in a game I DM'd. One of the PCs was supposed to be part of the final battle, but he betrayed the big bad to my surprise. I was like, wait, hold on, you're supposed to be helping the big bad kill the party. What the heck? That was fun.
Triple agent.
Well, to be fair, he actually tried to kill the party early in the campaign. Like, he legitimately made the effort to kill them all at once.
Oh, dear.
That's not how you do it, though.
Well, he got close. He didn't kill anyone. He just got really close to it. And then, for some reason, the party didn't murder him back. And they saved his life a couple times. And finally, I was like, why aren't you betraying them? He's like, well, they saved my life. I was like, oh. Okay, then.
Power of friendship
Pretty much.
overcame the final villain.
So yeah, that was I forget if I buffed him as a result. That's not the point. Anyways,